Oh my God. Where is everybody? You all watching other people. What's wrong with you? Fine. Fine. I hope you like this, though. Hope you like this. Well, not that. Yeah, something like that. There we are, being kicked to the curb. It's always the dream, baby. All right, baby. Oh, yeah. Welcome. You like that intro? Give you a little Ray Davy there for you. Yes. How is everybody tonight? Good evening. Good evening. Lucky started. Welcome, love. Welcome, dude. Or love. Welcome, Wolf JB1. No kings. Curious Roll. Well, you've been a curious roll, my love. That's preservation, baby. Preservation. Yeah. All right. What are we doing tonight? What do you guys want to do? I want to show you some stuff. Now this, more of Dylan, of course. I don't know, unless you guys want to watch Christy Gonzalez. I don't know. I don't know if I'm in the mood for that shit. Are you in the mood for Christy Gonzalez and Dr. Phil? I don't know about that. I mean, how aggravated do we want to get? I can't watch them, guys. I know they're doing more interviews. They're always going to do interviews. They're always going to do interviews. We know this. Well, I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. Quiet lately. I can't do it. I can't watch them. I'm done with them. Of course their stories change. They always change. All the time. They always change the stories. It's nothing new. Yes, and Bob, welcome, CB, Merlin. Yeah, she gets me raged up. Well, you know, Curious, you send me a lot of good stuff about their Facebook crap. The fucking Facebook bullshit. You know. And then when they get comments they don't like, they rage at the people. They rage at people on their Facebook because they don't like the comments, some of the comments, so they turn into complete fucking ragers. No, that's ridiculous. They're milking this shit for all it's worth. We know that. They're milking this shit for all it's worth. They've been milking it. Once they realize that, once they this went in segments. This went in gradient here in segments. We know this. It started off right. Well, 3 weeks after the murder, it's when they started appearing on camera. We know this, and then from there, it just got more and more progressed from there. They built up a following. They got all the sympathy, and they turned it into a fucking business. And that's what they did. Then they put it under a guise of a foundation to get even more attention and money. So, anyway. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right, CB. Yeah, they have this, you're right. They have this strange fascination with Kohlberger getting out of prison and then killing more people. Coming after you. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. They have, I don't know what kind of fantasies they got going on in there, but they're not healthy fantasies. We know this. Especially Steve G. Steve G's got a lot of unhealthy fantasies going on in his brain. Wow. Remember the FBI agent in the beginning of this case? He went on Newsmax. I think it was Newsmax, right? Newsmax. And he said, I think Steve G might be the perpetrator. Remember that? Weird. You never know. I don't know. And then the Ramsey Hunt syndrome, mysteriously, he gets it the same morning, mysteriously. And probably had scratches on his face that he, where'd you get the scratches on your face? Well, I got this Ramsey Hunt. And so, of course, I was scratching it all night. Stuff like that. Makes you wonder. How much does this guy does this guy know? Too much. Oh boy. So I was thinking about this. Now, Dylan Mortensen likes to confuse things, as we know. She likes to confuse timelines, as we know. She likes to mix things up. And it's all disjointed and stuff like that, So I was reading back over her bullshit again. Of course, I couldn't find the full, the more full transcript. It took me forever to find more of a full transcript from 12/1 with her interview with the FBI, Aaron Williamson. I know this has been covered before, but and maybe this has been speculated about before, but this whole thing about hearing a man say, "I'm here to help you." All that bullshit. So I was reading over some stuff again. I'm thinking to myself, who would that be? Who would that be, Mrs. John? You wanted a late show, Mrs. John? Well, here it is. Another one for you. Yeah, shingles, right. It's herpes, right? Form of herpes, right. Good. Yes, form of herpes. Shingles, right, on the face. Right. Really strange timing on that one. Very bizarre. We know this. A lot of bizarre coincidences in this case. I think we're up to about 1,072 now in this fucking garbage of a fucking wretched case. 1,072 coincidences in this case, and I think we should do a 6-hour video explaining all the different coincidences in this case, and write a book about them too while we're at it. Why not? Welcome, Dame John. Well, yeah. So then I was thinking to myself, well, who would that be? Well, it's not Brian Kohlberger, because remember, Brian Kohlberger is not sticking around. Remember, Brian Kohlberger is the ninja. So he's killing people within 2 minutes and getting out of the house, right? That's Brian Kohlberger. So who would be stopping in the middle of a rampage and talking to people? Who would that be? Well, guess who that would be, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Take a wild fucking guess who that would be. Now, Dylan, we know Dylan likes to mix up things purposely. Yeah. He's a terrible liar. Terrible liar. We know this. Welcome, Tig Old Biddies and Daphmans. Welcome, loves. Correct. Good, Curious Rose. Exactly what I was thinking. That is Hunter Johnson. Because he's the only one we know who goes in around the house with a fucking knife. So then I was thinking, wait a minute. What if Xana Kernodle wasn't dead? What if Xana Kernodle was not deceased? Weird. And what if this voice that Dylan is saying she heard was Hunter Johnson, because he went to the house by himself. He went to the house before anybody else went to the house, and he spent a period of time in that fucking house before anybody else was there besides Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk. What if that was the voice that Dylan claims to hear? Strange. It's okay, I'm here to help you. Then I'm thinking to myself, well, that wouldn't have happened in the bathroom because there, as far as you and I know, and we were told and whatever, there was no blood found in the second floor bathroom, right? There was no blood found in that bathroom, correct? I think. So, it wouldn't have, first of all, nobody's in the bathroom crying or bleeding, as far as we know, right? Is that correct? Let's stop there for a minute. That's correct, right? As far as we were told. Now, that could be wrong, but yeah. Well, that's another point I wanted to get to, and we already know this. So, Hunter, Emily, and crew, right? Hunter, Emily, and crew, they're all staying together, right? Of course. Yes, this is another time that has to be investigated. What were you guys doing, right here? Look, what were you guys doing between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m.? This covers the murders, or at least covers partially the murders. So Hunter, Emily, and crew, they're all staying together, right down the street. Okay. What were they doing between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m.? What were they doing? They were up. Remember, they're locking doors because they were spooked. They were spooked out by something. Who knows? But they were up. See? Yeah. So, yeah, this is interesting. So, maybe we forget about 11:55 bullshit, or maybe we forget about 10 to 11:55. Maybe this is we should be focused on this. 3 to 5. What were you doing between 3 and 5 a.m.? They all woke up the same time together, guys. What were they doing? That's right. Back up at 10 o'clock in the morning, right? And then Hunter Johnson goes to the house by himself. Exactly. So I'm curious what they were doing between 3 and 5 a.m. That's a critical time. That's the critical time, essentially. Besides the 2 a.m. dark hour. But yeah, synchronized sleeping my fucking ass is bullshit. They were up for a reason. They were up for a purpose. They just magically wake up together out of the blue. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to even suggest that. No, this was coordinated. This was coordination in motion and action. This is not coincidental we wake up at the same time. Everybody wakes up at the same time together. It's ridiculous. I can't believe police would even. I can with Moscow and Idaho state. I can believe it because we know what they are, but I'm saying in reality, it's completely ridiculous to think that that no, this was coordinated. Absolutely. If you have to, there is no just magically waking up all at the same time and staying up exactly at the same time together and then going back to bed exactly at the same fucking time together. Come on now. We're not talking 4-year-old children here. We're not talking 4-year-old children that we're giving Benadryl to, right? Even though we'd like to. Okay? Right. Good. Stop crying, for Christ's sake. I'll give you some fucking Benadryl. All right, thank you. Yeah, that's what they did to me, MasterNature. Oh, come on, MD. No, listen. No, and nobody wants to hear about you getting Benadryl, MD, all right? They did. My mom would give me, I was 4. And this was after the census takers came to the house, and... All right. Thank you. You can tell it later, MD. The garden doesn't want to hear about it. All right? They really don't. Yes, they did. All right. So I wanted to start off with this. This is Hunter Johnson. It's much different when you read it out. It's very different when you read it out. It's much more ridiculous and crazy when you actually read the shit. And how a police officer could think to themselves, well, sure, that's possible. It's totally absurd. It's totally ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous that Judge Hippler would allow Dylan Mortensen her identification by bushy eyebrows to even fucking be plausible. I went back and read that again, the court order, his court order in that. I'm like, this is absurd. Yeah, sure. What Hippler did in that document, as we know, is he cherry-picked information from Brett Payne and the other interviews. He cherry-picked. Because we know what he is. He's a fucking evil vampire. Should have a silver stake in his fucking heart underneath the root cellar, right? That's why we know where he should be, along with the rest of them. But yeah. Salem's Lot kind of fucking shit. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Welcome, Satire. Hello. Thank you, Satire. I hope you liked. Biscuits. The biscuit one. That was your suggestion. Thank you, Satire. Can't forget the biscuits. Thank you. Welcome, Captain's home. 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. All right, quick break. But I wanted to start with this, then we're going to move on to Dylan again. Dylan's interesting because you have to go to two different documents to get the full scope of Dylan's 12-1 bullshit. You have to go to 2 separate documents. I couldn't find the other one. I had it. I had it on a different computer, and I'm like, where the fuck is this thing? That's also part of the grand jury testimony. I know this has been covered, but anyway, we'll get there. So, but we're going to start with this, though. This is where I wanted to start here. This is Hunter Johnson. I just want to read it out to you because it is as bad as it sounds. We already know this. But reading it again makes it even more ridiculous when you really think about it. So anyway, quick break. We're going to start with that. Remember, and we got to keep in mind, and I know you guys do, but we got to keep in mind what Hunter Johnson was doing on the 911 call. Remember, it's not just this. It's the 911 call and all the actions and behaviors surrounding that as well. That is important here. It's not just this. It's what he did not say or do also on the 911 call compared to his fucking interviews. And again, a real fucking homicide detective is going to know all these irregularities and inconsistencies in the stories, and they are going to hammer them to death. That's what homicide detectives do. I was just watching a few more cases today. Homicide detectives hammering suspects. They were hammering these people. You know, it didn't matter how old they were. I watched one today. It was about a 91-year-old man who killed his fucking stepdaughter. He brutally murdered his stepdaughter with a fucking hatchet. Okay? He's 91 years old. Now, he's a stupid 91-year-old, let me tell you, but seriously. And the homicide detective's like, hey, well, first of all, they did their homework. Unlike Moscow police and Idaho State Police, they actually did their homework first. Anyway, yeah, 91-year-old fucking guy. He was about 5'2", 91 years old. He went over to his stepdaughter's house with a pizza. You probably saw this. And he fucking hatcheted her to death. Like, I don't know why, but he did it. Crazy. Fucking nuts. So yeah, so the point is, it doesn't fucking matter who these people are. They could be 91 years old, they could be 17 years old, they could be 20 years old, 19. They could be Hunter Johnson, they could be 22, 21. Doesn't matter. We know this. But that's not what happened here. This was never a real investigation. We know this. We have to keep saying it because it's not. It doesn't match any other fucking homicide investigation. Unless there is a blatant cover-up that is running throughout the entire case. Then everything is off from the very fucking beginning, just like this case. Everything is off from the very beginning. Yep. And that's why the narrative doesn't make any sense. And that's why the police is fucking, their shit doesn't make any sense. And letting suspects go without really questioning them doesn't make any sense. And, I get, thinking, well, they must have been relying solely on DNA evidence and fingerprint evidence. And they say, well, we didn't find this here, so they must have nothing to do with anything. Sure. Not all cases are solved by DNA. Some cases are solved just by contradicting the fucking people you have in front of you. And then they break down and confess. A lot of cases are solved like that. Weird. Strange. And then you go and get evidence. Or you do your homework, one or the other. Probably both. Anyway. It's all one big cluster. We know this. It's difficult to say a cover-up because it's hard to prove a cover-up. Very difficult to prove a cover-up. I mean, it's very difficult. But when you're left with no more possibilities, I don't know. What are you going to do with it? You have more viable suspects running around than you do a lone wolf character who is not a psychic. And so, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, quick break. And then we'll get on to this. We get on, Jobby. Job target. Now, here's what we're going to do. And we're doing this, eh? Now, we've done this before. Now, you, as we're reading this, you are in the mind of a real homicide detective listening to somebody tell you this. And I want you to think to yourself, what would you do if you heard somebody tell you this shit? Okay, what would you do? All right, so this is Hunter Johnson. We've been through this. Welcome, Dame Deb. Welcome, love. Are we yodeling? Welcome, Mountain. Did I miss Dame Mountain? Dame Anthus. Welcome, Dame Anthus. Queen of the Mountain. Satire, of course. Queen of the Satire. All right. All right, we're going to start with this. So, yeah. Ooh, it's a little blurry now. Ooh, a little blurry. Hang on now. A little blurry. Can't have that. Cover your eyes. Cover your eyes. Cover your eyes. It may sting a little bit here. It may sting. Oh, stinging. See, it's stinging there. All right. All right. Ooh, is that better? Hello. 3 to 5. All right. What are they doing? All right. Still fucking blurry. What is wrong with you? What the hell? Oof. Damn. Spray it right on there. Ah, damn. Even blew it up a little bit. Look. This is professional quality here. Oh my god. All right, let's try this. All right. Eesh. Still fucking blurry. What the? Why is that blurry? It was fine a minute ago. All right, that's better. All right, let's do this. That's better. All right, fine. All right, so this is Hunter, right? 12 o'clock. Hunter said around 12, right, which we know is a lie. Dylan called Emily, right? That's how she got them over, supposedly, right? Dylan wants somebody else to discover the bodies. This is a classic move by people who murder people. They want other people to discover the bodies. This is nothing new. And Dylan is doing this. She said something was not right in the house. And she also told Emily she heard or saw a man in her house, right? The old wolf. Dylan asked Emily and Hunter to come over and make sure everything was okay and discover the bodies. Because that's what killers do. This is not unusual. Killers often will want other people to discover their handiwork. And Dylan Mortensen is no exception to this rule. People in denial? Ask any FBI agent who works in homicides. They'll tell you this. Because also, Dylan says, because she locked herself in Bethany's room. Hunter said he was the first, right, we know this, he was the first person to get to the residence. We know this. He said he entered the code to the front door, which was wide open, unless Dylan Mortensen closed it. In between here, where Bethany and Dylan were in Bethany's room on the first floor. Dylan and Bethany were telling Hunter they did not know what was going on. Well, what was going on? Hunter said, this is where it's good. Remember the 911 call? Hunter said he went up the stairs and immediately went into Xana's room. Hunter said this was the only room he went into. Hunter said when he approached the door, Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Hunter said when he approached the door, it was partially open. Hunter said when he opened the door, he saw Xana and Ethan. Hunter said he initially did not realize all the blood was dried blood in the room. Hunter said he thought at first they had been drunk and left a mess. That's what he said. Right. Hunter said when he stood there for a moment, he began to realize what he was looking at or seeing. Welcome, Nasty Nate. Hunter said Bethany and Dylan were uncontrollably crying. Now, this is all before 911 was called, guys. Hunter said he told them to get out of the house and call law enforcement. Remember the reenactment we talked about so much? Well, here you are. Then Hunter said he went to the kitchen and grabbed that knife from the drawer after already being in the room. Hunter said he then went back into Xana's room and checked the closet to make sure Michael Myers wasn't hiding in there. Remember that? Right. Gee, I guess he didn't check any of the other rooms. On the first floor, in the kitchen, outside the glass door. Nope. Hunter said he checked for a pulse on both Xana and Ethan. He also said both of the bodies, he also said, yeah, crazy, right? We already know this, but it's as crazy as it already is, right? Hunter said both of the bodies had rigor mortis and were cold with no breath or pulse. Hunter said he believed the two had been dead for quite a while. Hey guys, did we hear any of that on the 911 call? No, we didn't. In fact, Hunter Johnson, he couldn't even talk to the 911 dispatcher. Right? He said, I can't talk to them, you have to talk to them. But he's doing all of this fucking crap. Right, Hunter Johnson? Hey, Hunter, I need you to confess too. You need to fucking confess. Listen to this crap. So he's checking the bodies for rigor mortis and for pulses, and people aren't breathing, they're cold to the touch, and they've been dead for quite a while, according to Hunter Johnson, before they called 911. Hunter said he left the knife on the folding table in the living room, which is not true. He left the knife on the landing at the top of the stairs. At which point Emily says, I saw that knife at the top of the stairs. Hunter doesn't get the knife until Noons turns his back on him, looks back into Xana's bedroom. That's when Hunter gets the knife and puts it on the beer pong table. That's what happens. Hunter said Emily, Josie, and Josie's boyfriend started to enter the house and come up the stairs, which they did. Hunter told them to get out of the residence after all of them looked into Xana's bedroom and saw the bodies. That's when. And I don't believe he did this. I don't believe he told them to get out at this point either. Hunter said This was about the time Moscow Police Department arrived on scene. Where's the Hey guys, where's the fucking 911 call? Hunter said the officer told him, right? Officer Nunes, to stay where he was at. Hunter said he did not know if anybody else was upstairs, which is a lie, as he had not gone anywhere else in the house, which is a lie. Hunter said he had trouble comprehending what he was seeing. I mean, we can go on with Hunter, but that is probably the most important part here. Now, again, how do you drive that with the 911 call? Go ahead, do it. Jive all of what Hunter Johnson is doing here, checking the bodies for rigor mortis, checking for pulses. Everybody's bloody and dead, right? Everybody's bloody and dead, right? It's amazing he gets no blood on him. That's amazing he got no blood on him. Very strange. But anyway, didn't do CPR because there's no necessity to do CPR. So again, the question is, why the fuck did we falsify a fucking 911 call? Why the fuck did we lie to the 911 dispatcher? Why didn't Hunter Johnson tell the 911 dispatcher exactly what he saw and was doing? Because he's the one who was checking on the fucking dead bodies. But not one fucking word from him. Not one goddamn word from him on the 911 phone call. People in denial. Stay over the wall. Now that's a theory, Nasty Nate, that was a theory that Johnson was somehow was involved with the police department, was an intern. That's a theory. That's a theory. Yeah. And actually, if I go a little further with that, when he goes up the stairs with Nunes and he does say, we got a call, it does sound like he says on 911 or from 911. It does sound like that. Which would suggest that perhaps he was somehow involved with law enforcement to some degree. I don't know. But, yeah, very strange. Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, they're all staying together. It was at Josie's apartment. That's where it was. I forgot who it was. So they're all staying together in Josie's apartment. It was Emily Allant, Hunter Johnson staying with Emily and Emily's boyfriend. That's a scenario. They are all staying together there. That's when these people, they all go to sleep they wake up all together at 3:00, stay up till 5:00. They don't really say, and that's another thing, they don't really give any details about what they were doing. I got to go back, but I think they said they maybe watched a movie or watched a show or something. No. I think they said they were all just sitting around talking. That was what they were doing, guys, between 3 and 5 a.m. in the morning. I think they said they were all just sitting around talking. That's it, right? Isn't that what they said? Welcome, Dame Tara Snow. Welcome. Welcome, Dame Celestine. He is. Hunter is always there. He's always there when the police are there. Interesting. That is true. He always is there. Almost in every noise complaint. He's fucking out the house. That's right. I mean, again, that's either just a coincidence, number 1,777 now. Yeah. Yeah. He seemed to be there all the time when shit was happening. All the time. Yeah. And you know what's interesting? At least on one of the body cam noise complaints, I don't recall, and I could be wrong. I have to go back and watch all the noise complaints, but I don't recall, at least on one of them, the cops ever asking who he was. I don't think so. The one with Kaylee where the audio is all fucking chopped up, I don't recall the police ever asking him who he was. Like, who are you? Do you live here? I don't recall that. Weird. Could be wrong about that, but I don't recall that. Strange. Very strange. Very strange, that one. Very strange, that one. Very strange, that one. It's very strange that he had to be the first one to get to the house, too. That's very strange. He didn't wait for the others. He had to go by himself. That alone is suspicious. That alone is suspicious. Now, why wouldn't you ask him, as a seasoned homicide detective, why did you feel compelled to go by yourself and not wait for the others? You could have went in a group. But no, instead, you decided you had to be the first one to get to the house for some fucking reason. He could have went with his buddy. He could have went with fucking Josie's boyfriend to the house, but he didn't wait for him. He had to go by himself. That alone is a red flag. Not to mention all the other bullshit. Yeah. So, Hunter Johnson had some stake in this house to some degree. Yes, he did. There's something about those people in that house that he had a stake in to make it so important enough for him to want to do this. Otherwise, you're going to say, fuck, I'll wait for everybody else and we'll just fucking go together. Because Dylan Morrison's probably just freaking out like a crazy bitch that she is. That's probably what you're going to say to yourself if this was a normal thing. She's probably just freaking out over nothing. But that's not what happened. Their behaviors don't match. The behaviors don't match the scenario once again. And they never do, actually. And that 911 call is a great example of their behaviors not matching. They should have been arrested for making a false police report. They should have been arrested for making a false 911 call. Because it's completely false. They know exactly what happened. Hunter Johnson was staring at two dead bodies with rigor mortis. And yet he couldn't tell the dispatcher this. So Hunter Johnson purposely refused to tell the dispatcher just exactly what was in that house. And he made the cops, he made the police think that this was just some random unconscious drunk girl. Right? But yeah, that's true, Nate. I mean, that's a great point, Nate. He was seemingly always fucking there when there was trouble. Always. He's keeping an eye on things. Hell, he was at the house too. He was also at the house with, I forget the other guy, one of the other frat members, when the girls weren't even there, right? During one of those parties. He was still there. And they didn't find that odd? Strange. The 911 calls a reenactment. It's a reenactment. I just read to you what happened. This is before they called 911. This is before they called 911. Everything you hear on the 911 calls is a reenactment. Yep, we know this. Because why is it a reenactment? Because they're going into the house again, into the room again, and Hunter again is telling them to get out. He just told them to get out of the house twice. It's a reenactment. Anyway. Yes, well, he supposedly cleared Xana's bedroom. He didn't go anywhere else, though, guys. He didn't go anywhere else except the kitchen and the living room. And then he didn't go anywhere else besides those 3 rooms. Oh, but he also did go to Bethany's room. He went to Bethany's room. Yeah, he went to actually quite a few rooms before going into Xana's bedroom. He actually went in quite a few rooms. You know what's crazy? How comes he didn't fucking clear the first floor? I don't know. Why didn't he clear the first floor? Because that was the floor that Bethany and Dylan were on. Gee, you think that would be the first floor you'd clear? Right? Because they're so scared, locking themselves in that bedroom on the first floor. Gee, you think that would be the floor that he clears first with a knife? But no, it's not. It's not. None of it makes sense because they're all lying and they're all guilty. That's why it doesn't make any fucking sense. That's exactly why. We can think of all kinds of logical things in this which don't fit because they're lying. So, yeah. Now listen, think about it. You wanna grab a knife from the kitchen that Dylan Mortensen, by the way, told you to get. It was Dylan Mortensen that told you to get that knife from the kitchen, by the way. Of course. Now, wouldn't you clear the first floor? I mean, what if Michael Myers is I don't know, hanging out in that spare bedroom down there, just waiting for Dylan and Bethany to come out so he can pick them off? Nope, he didn't do that. See, they cannot, the stories don't work. They will never work. They're bad liars. If you're going to be doing this kind of nonsense in the house with a knife, well, you should actually clear the first floor first before you proceed to the second floor. Okay? Yeah. Or, even better, you're going to get a sharp object from Bethany Funk's room first. A sharp object. I'm sure she has a sharp object in her room somewhere. I'm sure. And you're going to use that first to clear the first floor. You're not just going to go up to the second floor, not knowing if Michael Myers is waiting up there in the landing for you. It doesn't work. All the stories are lies. They're all fucking lies. They're all lies. And again, a homicide detective is going to listen to this shit. They're going to think to themselves, this sounds like a bunch of crap, which it is, and they're going to start trying to nail you. They may not do it right that second, but excuse me, as we know, they may gather a little bit more information, and then they're going to haul you back in, and then they're going to start fucking nailing you with shit. The shit that you just said that doesn't make any sense. And then they're going to arrest you. Which is exactly what should have happened in this case. But in this case, on day 1, though, Hunter Johnson should have been arrested. Absolutely. Mortensen should have been arrested. Absolutely. Bethany Funk, we know, should have been arrested. No, you cannot go home for Thanksgiving. Never. And Emily Allant should have been arrested. For also being anybody who went in that house that morning should have been arrested. Because all of them lied to the police. Every single one of those people on the 911 call, they lied to the police. They all should have been arrested. We're not talking about simple burglary. We're talking about a quadruple homicide. They all should have been arrested. Everybody on that 911 call that very morning should have been arrested. There is no way around it. Because the minute you walk into Xana's bedroom, you know what's going to happen? You're going to think to yourself, holy fucking balls, these pieces of shit just lied to me. And they all lied to me. They all lied to me. All these fucking people standing around, they all lied to me. Why did they do that? Why did they all lie to me? Why? Why did they all lie to me? My name's Mr. Noons. Why did they all lie to me? That's the first thing I'm thinking. After I see the dead fucking bodies, why did they fucking lie to me? I'm a stupid chimp walking in the house with a goddamn defibrillator like a goddamn monkey. I'm a total idiot. I would feel like a total idiot. If he's not, I'm saying, they're not already involved in this scenario. I'm just saying, if the police had no knowledge of what happened, then you're walking into the house like a goddamn chimpanzee with a defibrillator in your hands, looking like a complete fucking moron. Yes. Absolutely. Welcome, Love Tina. But then again, you got to take the police into account in this and say, well, you know, they're part of it too. So it's difficult, but otherwise, you're going to arrest these people. I mean, seriously. Look, even if you say, well, at first, I didn't know what I was looking at. Okay, fine. You were dazed for a few seconds, okay? But not when you're getting down on your hands and knees and checking for rigor mortis, and you realize there's no pulse, and they're cold to the touch, and you say, well, they've probably been dead for a few hours. I don't think you're in shock. I don't think you're like not knowing what you're doing anymore, or not what you're seeing when you're describing it like that. Right? It's ridiculous. Hello, Kiss Me Where I Pee. Welcome, love. Anyway, just something as simple as rereading Hunter Johnson's bullshit. It just reinforces the fact that he absolutely should have been arrested on 11/13, along with everybody else on that 911 call. If the cops weren't in on the script at that point, they should have been arrested. There's no getting around it. I don't care. You are deliberately making a false 911 call. And we're not talking about a simple matter here. We're not talking about a neighbor dispute. You know, we know what we're talking about. So yeah, it's ridiculous. Hunter said Ethan wanted Hunter to come over to the house, to the party, but Hunter said he chose not to go. Right. He was last at the residence on 11/12 that same day, where he was, quote, pre-gaming for the Vandals football game. He got to the house at around 12 or 1 and left at about 2:30 p.m. to go to a different party. Hunter said the last time Emily was at the King Road house was Friday the 11th. Right. No issues dating, blah, blah, blah. Hunter said, again, this is a lie. Hunter said he was not very familiar with Maddie or Kylie. Hunter allowed pictures to be taken of his phone of the conversations between him and Ethan Chapin. Well, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? So they allowed pictures. So did they get his phone and forensically download it? I have no idea. Probably not. They should have. I don't know. Maybe they did it. Kill the clones. Anyway, quick break. Welcome, Sir Equinox. Welcome, sir. Knight of the Garden Round, of course. We have Sir Equinox, and we have a Merlin from Philadelphia. No, Merlin. Also a Knight of the Garden Round, the Wizard of the Garden Round. We need a wizard. Kill the clones. Kill the clones. All right, quick break, guys. I was looking at Kill the Clones today. Kill the Clones. Oh, images of Kill the Clones. Guys ever see Kill the Clones? That shit? Weird. Fucking weird. It's not something I got into. But then I was looking at the images from Kill the Clones. And I'm like, well, that's really fucking weird. It looks just like the interior of the house. I'm like, what is this? Kill the clones. Fuck. Yeah. So I was looking at stills from the movie. Supposedly you can't find the movie anymore, but there's still images. And I'm looking at the still images, and there's parts where they're in a house, and it looks just like the interior of the the King Road house. I'm like, what is this? Fucking weird. Kill the clones. Kill the clones. Great. Should look at some of those images. Let me see if I can find them. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, yes. Let's see if we can find those images again. Somebody on Reddit archived all of them. And, yeah. See if we can find them. I think they were scrubbed or something. They were scrubbed, and then see if we can find that. Yeah. Let's see if we can find that. They're very interesting. Very interesting. Yes, indeed. Let's do this. Where did I find that? I want to show you some of those images, by the way, if you haven't seen them. If you have not seen those images, they're very interesting, some of them. All right, check this shit out, all right? This is from Reddit. We're gonna look at some of these, all right, guys? You guys seen these yet? All right. Like this one, for example. They're in a batch, so it's. Let's see if I can blow them up here a little bit. Fuck. Yeah, I can blow them up. I think. No. How do I fucking blow this up? I can save the image. Let's save it. Let's see if I can blow it up this way. I think I can blow it up this way. I hope. Resize. We can make it much larger. We can make the image larger. Let's try this. Come on. God damn it. Fucker. Not exactly what I wanted here. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but just some interesting parallels a little bit. So this is supposedly, now guys, supposedly screenshots from here. I don't know. This one, stairs leading up. It wasn't exactly a pool. That living room didn't look exactly like that. Kill the clones. Yeah. Anyway, stuff like that. There's more. Let me show you more. Let me show you more. There's more here. All right. Then we get to this where I don't know. So maybe this is better. So then it switches to like outside where we're dragging a body and stuff like that. Right. I don't know. Weird. Just some of the interior shots remind me of the house a little bit. So yeah, let me back up. All right, so yeah, let me read it. So this is Reddit, but all right. So I'll read it. This is what this was. And I didn't get into it too much before, but this is what it is. So the Kill the Clones thing was a weird rabbit hole that started the day before the murders happened, right? People noticed strange accounts, including one using the name Sarah Osborne, commenting on the victim's social media accounts and apparently connected to a YouTube video called Kill the Clones, which was uploaded November 12th, the day before the murders. The comments being left were pretty sick and disturbing, and they also followed 3 of the roommates. I can't remember if it was proven at all if they also followed this account back. That account was also connected to some other morbid accounts found in a Reddit thread. I can add it later. Here it is. Mm-hmm. All right. Here is the link. All right. So this is supposedly it. I was looking through some of the comments on the victim's Instagram accounts and saw a few ugly ones laughing about the situation. What was first weird was that all of the troll accounts, public ones at least, had one photo in common. A screenshot posted on March 6th of a TikTok icon with a caption asking if anyone knows how to hack into a TikTok account to let them know. Anyway, this one particular account with the username Sarah Osborne had posts dating back to May 13th and May 14th talking about how their cousin wanted to make a movie called Killing the Clones, starring two girls who looked very similar. I'm not comfortable posting pictures of them without their consent, but they are still up on the profile to one another. I am by no means saying that Kaylee and Maddie looked like the clones, but they undeniably shared quite a few similarities. Creepiest part to me is that 5 days ago, November 12th, one day before the murders, with no posts between May and then, is when they created the YouTube channel and shared their Killing the Clones movie. Here is the link. All right. So you go to the link. And the video isn't available anymore. All right. They took it down. Strange. Why would they take it down? It's just a random weird, unprofessional, student movie, right? That's right. I think that could be part of that. Yeah. That's supposedly that student film. And then this person goes on to say, well, I know I'm probably reaching by miles, but geesh, what are the odds? And why are they so compelled to torment the families and friends of the victims by laughing at their passings? Some things I'll never understand and never want to. Edit number 2. I guess I was informed that Ethan's Instagram profile was public until a day or two ago. When was this posted? Let me see. Oh, yeah, this was posted 4 years ago. 4 years ago, right around the time, right after murders. Yeah. So, all right. Edit 2. Was informed that Ethan's Instagram profile was public till a day or two ago. I'm leaving it up so there isn't any confusion or necessarily repeated speculation, but please disregard the paragraph below. Why couldn't you just edit the paragraph? You could delete the paragraph. Whatever. All right, whatever. And then this was this. So this was, I guess, the original posting, right? Sarah Osborne, supposedly was one of the witches at the Salem witch trials. Sarah Osborne. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the long-awaited movie that I've been leaking. The film is about a boyfriend who is fed up with his girlfriend's clones, so he hires a hitman to take them out. Weird. Strange. Well, be careful, Philly. If you're going to do that, be careful. Be careful. Welcome, Scully. Well, CB, I understand. But be careful if you're diving into if you're going to go that deep into the web. Just be careful. Because there is we know there is some crazy shit down there. Lots of crazy shit. More than what we can imagine, I guess. Yeah, so very strange. Sunshine Adventurer. Maddie Mogan. Hi, Boise. Can't wait for summer with you. God bless you, lovely. Your life was stolen, and I'm so sorry. My thoughts and prayers are with your loved ones. You're a queen with a permanent crown. This guy says, seems like summer never came. Ha, ha, ha. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Here you go. Yeah, they got some sickos out there, Steve G. Steve G, you got some sickos out there in your home state. Including Steve G. Wow. Strange stuff. This is Sarah Osborne. I wonder why this killer didn't strip you guys. Because I honestly would love to have played with your bodies for a while you're still warm. Oh my God. Right? Sarah, what in the hell is wrong with you? Look at her most recent post. It's absolutely disgusting. Nothing. Just giving truth. There you go. It's probably Olivia. No, sorry. Is it Olivia? Oops. Oh, Dave Mathis, come on now. Dave Mathis. CB Merlin, come on now. Don't take it personally, Merlin. Don't take it personally. We know you're only a black guy in here, but it's all right. I'm black too. You know Tyrone. Come on now. I mean, well, I'm not the official. You know, I'm not MasterNature, but so it's always a black guy. I'm with you. Solidarity, black pride. Got my hand in. I got my fist in the air. You can't see it, but I got my fist in the air. All right, with a black glove on. That's right, baby. Oh my God. Welcome, Shell Shocked. Does she have the whole video? Does she have the whole video? I don't know. I should ask her. I thought she had. I don't know. I thought she had certain things of it, but I didn't know she had the actual video. So that's good. I should ask her. We should, if she does, I'd like to get a copy of it, and see how similar, any weird coincidences between that and the murders. Strange. That's right. Nobody black. Nobody black. No, come on. We got 1983 now. There's got to be at least one more black person in here besides CP. Oh, come on now. We love you. I love you. Black lives matter. They do. They always do matter. They do. My life mattered until nobody believed me about the fucking bubonic plague. Yeah, fuck that. Then my life didn't matter after that. Right. Where are we at? We're at hour and 20. Jeez. Anyway, I don't know how we got on to kill the clones, but interesting. Kill the fucking clones. Very strange. Why not leave it up? I mean, if it's just a, an innocent student, whatever, if it's an innocent amateur film, a horror, whatever, why not leave it up? Why not? Who cares? If it's whatever, there's tons of that shit. There's tons of that shit around. You can find that. Why not leave it up? I don't know. No, Italian is not black. All right, Dave Celestine. That's an infamia. All right, Dave. That's an infamia. Come on now. Let them lose their souls. All right. I don't want to near sold schools. I don't want to sold near children. Leave it to the colors, the blacks, the colors. Let them lose their souls. All right, baby. So no, we're not. That's not Italian. I'm sorry. It's bad when we start quoting from The Godfather. That's right. All right. All right, quick break. We'll move on. Move on. Kill the clones. A little bit more. I didn't want to go on tonight. I just want to do a little bit. Just want to do a little bit more. I open the door again. I open the door again. Is where we left off. Why did it revert back? Well, goddamn. Did you revert back to me? Kill the clones. Interesting. Very strange. I don't know. If there is a movie out there, we should watch it. All right. Anyway, kill the clones. Shit. All right. Let me pull this up. I just had it, and now it fucking revert. Shit. All right. All right. Here's this. It took me forever to find this again. I'm like, where the fuck is this? All right. So, yeah. Go through the transcripts. This is, if you're trying to find, it took me forever to find this again, but this is February 24th, 2025 in the court records. Exhibits in support of motion limine regarding witness identification by bushy eyebrows. Took me forever again to find this fucking thing. Anyway, quick break. Oh yeah, this is some of Dylan's infamous artwork, as we know. We've seen this before. Yeah, this is this file with the artwork. Yeah, some of our illustrious artwork here. Yeah. Does have a fascination with eyeballs, as we can see. Eyebrows and eyeballs, yes, because, well, Dylan is a very sick girl, as we know. She also has a fascination with big noses. Strange. Lips. What else? Yeah, there's more of that. More of her artwork. Remember, this is a view from her room. So looking out the door of Dylan Morton's bedroom, photo 1, taken 11/13/22, This is the view from her room, guys. Right there are the steps. Right there are the fucking steps, guys. Are those steps? Those are steps, right? I don't know. Yeah. So Dylan would have to actually leave her bedroom, stand out here and look up the steps. If those what I'm looking at. Yeah, you can't see it from her room. Oh, yeah. Anyway. This is another photo taken. So, yeah. That's all you're seeing. All right. We should read this. We should read this. And then we'll take a quick break. So this is, I know we've seen this before, but this is Dylan's room search. This is for people confused about the bloody footprint. So anyway, Detective Talbot, FBI was there on the 19th. So I searched Mortensen's bedroom with FBI was there already, while other members of the investigation team, including crime scene lead ISP Detective Talbot, were present. Mortensen's bedroom is the most centrally located room within the residence. During the time of the quadruple murder, Mortensen reported she witnessed the murder suspect, later identified as Kohlberger, at close proximity while she stood at her bedroom doorway. ISP forensic scientist had identified a bloody shoe print outside of Mortensen's bedroom, believed to belong to Kohlberger. Bloody shoe print! Now that's for people in denial who like to say, well, it wasn't a bloody shoe print, MasterNature. It was a bloody shoe print. Okay? You fuckers. Don't fucking come at me because you're fucking retarded. I told you it was a bloody shoe print, but they still want to deny. They still want to argue. Well, nah, it was only a presumptive blood test, MasterNature. It was a bloody fucking shoe print, cocksuckers. I'm sorry you can't fucking read. They say it plainly. It was a bloody shoe print. Just because Brett Payne doesn't know how to write, well, we know what Brett Payne should have done, not done here. Just because Brett Payne doesn't know how to fucking write to cover his ass, and we know all his bullshit PCA. It was a Van Sneaker bloody fucking shoe print right outside her fucking door. Latent or fucking not, it was a bloody shoe print, which was a Van Sneaker, which probably matched Dylan's fucking sneakers in the house. It didn't match Brian Kohlberger's. Right? And what do we know how Brett Payne tried to get around that? He tried to say it was Brian Kohlberger's, and that was indicating the path of travel outside of the residence. That's how he tried to get around that. Mr. Bulbous Creation. The liar in chief. Cocksucker. Inbred. Retard. Should be in Alaska, in Russia, guiding Malamutes to the North fucking Pole or wherever. Or perhaps Huskies. Fuckers. Anyway, so yeah, a bloody shoe print for people in denial. Because people in denial want to make up we know this. They want to make 101 excuses for Dylan Mortensen. So, we got to burst that bubble every chance we can get here. Anyway. So upon entering the room, I photographed the bedroom with an emphasis upon her wall hangings and artwork. We know this. While conducting a search of her bedroom, the following items were found, noted, and seized. The bedroom had a low amount of alcohol compared to other first and second floor bedrooms within the residence because she wasn't drinking. There was a myriad of personal items, notebooks, and textbooks consistent with a college student. Artwork of human figures with an emphasis upon the eyes and eyebrows were pinned to corkboards along with fashion cutouts from the magazines, whatever. They also found a letter from Mortensen's big Emily a lot. That's her big. In cahoots. Was in a clear plastic shoebox within the closet. A personal diary journal was located on the vanity. A sorority accountability voting letter was located in a black backpack, which was under the bed. And that's it. Okay. I concluded the bedroom search at 350. All right. That's it for that one. And that was, what was that done? Oh, okay. So that wasn't reported, though. So this search supposedly happened 11/19, right? But it wasn't reported until January 9th, 2023. After Kohlberger was arrested, see. They didn't report this. This document wasn't official, wasn't signed off on, until after Kohlberger was arrested. See? And then officially printed, printed in 112, but whatever. But when was it signed off on? I guess 1/9. There's no print. There's no signing off on this one. It's just printed. Whatever. Okay. Whatever. Yeah. They like pulling that shit. They like pulling that shit in this case. They did it with Moscow Police 77. They did that with 77, by the way, too. As we know. They did that with a lot of documents. Important ones. Fucking crazy. Crazy. Oh, I'm going to read this to you guys. Some of this stuff was redacted in the interview, right, from Mortensen in 11/17. Some of this stuff we didn't hear because they redacted it, but not in the document. So, so we already seen this, but some of this is, again, this is, she's the prime. So, okay. All right. Quick break, Ed. Quick break, love. Yeah, remember Little House on the Prairie? Nobody knows how to read. Well, I'm sorry, nobody knows how to write. I mean, the number of errors in the documents probably total up to at least, I don't know, what, 5,000 maybe? At least? Maybe more? Jesus. All right, quick break. We'll do a little bit more. A little bit. It's Monday. It's slow, guys. It's a slow night. It's okay. I'm here to help you. Sure. I'm here to help you. Can you call an ambulance for me? No, I'm here to help you, though. The minute I think about that, I'm thinking, well, was Xana still alive? And what Dylan is actually referring to is Hunter Johnson saying that while he's fucking around in the bedroom with a knife. That's what it makes me think about. Uh-huh. And Dylan likes to confuse things on purpose. We know that. Anyway, Gooch. So this is from Gooch, right? 1117. Did you say you have control in the dreams? Right? This is the prime suspect. So the prime suspect says, yeah. So my thing was, all right, it's kind of weird. But my therapist said, this is very normal. Like I knew I was dreaming. So like it would be like, oh, like someone's chasing me. Someone's trying to kill me. I would just let them kill me. See? She is your psychotic. Well, we talked about this a long time. She is the psychotic prime. She always was. We talked about that a year and a half ago now. The psychotic prime. I would just let them kill me. Because I would wake up and I would be fine. But not like Xana. See, not like Xana Kernodle. See. Dylan is a very sick girl, by the way. We know this. I was like, okay, that was just a dream. Because I'm not dead, right? Because I'm not dead. Like it never scared me, really. See? Not even being killed in your dreams. It never scared her. Dylan doesn't get scared by anything, does she, guys? Nope. Why is that? Wouldn't that be kind of scary if you got killed in your dreams all the time? Like fucking Freddy Krueger shit? Wouldn't that be scary? I would think. I would think that's kind of scary if I'm getting killed in my dreams every so often. I think that would freak me out. Like, how do I suppress the dreams, right? Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors. How do I suppress this? I take a drug. Anyway, we're not talking about that. You guys know what I'm talking about. Dream Warrior. I was like, okay, that was just a dream. Never scared me. Really, when I had those dreams, because I knew I knew I was dreaming. Did you ever have to have anti-anxiety medication? No! Nothing? You mean you weren't on any medications? I mean, yeah, right? I mean, I didn't have, like, anxiety. It was just kind of like, oh, that's funny, because the fucking evil judge in his order said that Dylan Mortensen suffered from anxiety, which, according to Dylan Mortensen, she never suffered from anxiety. That's a fucking laugh, isn't it? Hey, Hitler, you're a fucking coward. You should recuse yourself from this case and retire under the root cellar with a silver stake in your fucking heart. Because Dylan Mortensen herself said she never suffered from anxiety. And she wasn't on any medications for anything. Because nothing scared her. Not even the fucking boogeyman. Not even Michael Myers. Because she's the prime. She's the fucking boogeyman. And her friends. That's it. That's the thing. It was just kind of like, I always kind of like had the worst situation in my mind, but it wasn't like it didn't really, like it didn't affect my life. But it was just like at night, I was, because I watch Criminal Minds, right? All that bullshit. Just like Kaylee Gonzalez used to watch Criminal Minds. Just like her. I would fall asleep in crime podcasts. Sure you did. That sounds like Kaylee. That's another thing that we talked about that Dylan likes to do. I don't know why. She doesn't know why, guys. She doesn't know why she'd fall asleep to crime podcasts. I don't know why. Because she never did. That's why. Again, what do we know about her? She likes to, I've said this a million times. The psychotic prime likes to borrow other people's life experiences and apply them to herself as if they were real. And they're not real. They're not real. They never were real. Nope. So it planted a seed. Yes. You don't have prior trauma, do you? You don't have any prior trauma, do you, Dylan Mortensen? Nope. I don't have trauma now, as a matter of fact. That's what she should have said after that. No, I mean, you don't something. No, nothing like that. Like I have divorced parents, but nothing of crime or trauma. Anything like that. So those movies do. They rent space in your head. Yes, obviously. I love gory movies. I love gory movies. I don't know why I love gory movies. I just love the adrenaline. That kind of stuff. And it probably messed up my brain a little bit at night. I just remember, so I remember waking up around 4:20. Here we go again. I have text from me and Kaylee at 4 o'clock. No, you don't. I mean, just text from me to her at 4:20. Let me make sure. Oops. That's another slip up, by the way. I have text from me and Kaylee at 4 a.m. Oops. I mean, I just texted her. See? Let me make sure. So she checks her phone. They let her check her phone. See? See how that works? Yeah. Then they ask her again about alcohol. And of course, she lies and inflates it. She's playing Rage Cage. Remember all that? This is all one lie. Her friends contradict her. She stopped drinking when she got to the house. Also White Claws. So on and so on. Yeah. How do you like that? You like that? You like that shit? So we get through the rest of Gooch. And then we get on to Aaron. This one is more complete, as we know. But we're going to do a little bit and then we're going to go here. I didn't want to, Mondays suck. I didn't want to do a lot, but And we'll get to this. She also goes on and says, I think it was Kaylee and I. Listen, I think it was Kaylee and I. Not just Kaylee. It was me and Kaylee. Think the guy was talking to Kaylee. See, she changes here. At first, it was Kaylee and me. Remember, Dylan's psychotic. She's the psychotic prime. And here, at this point, she has a hard time distinguishing between herself and Kaylee. That's a big problem. That's part of Dylan's motive, by the way. I think it was Kaylee and me, not Kaylee. Then she switches. Think the guy was talking to Kaylee, and she excludes herself from this part because this will incriminate her, obviously, in what I think was the fucking bathroom again. This is the bathroom bullshit again. So Gooch says that's important. But do you see my perspective? And Mortensen says, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah. See, she gets mixed up here. She doesn't know if she's talking about herself. She doesn't know if she's talking about Kaylee, or she doesn't know if she's talking about both of them together. She gets very mixed up here because she's sick. Very sick. She is one of the sickest people I think I've ever encountered in a watching people's murder interviews and stuff. She has got to be at the top of the list in terms of sick. Extremely sick. It's crazy how inarticulate and incoherent she is. She's sick. She's got to be one of the sickest fucking murderers, or at least associated with murdering people, I think I've ever come across. It's really fucking quite appalling. When you actually read the words, she's a sicko. I don't know how else you can look at this. She told you she's never experienced trauma, and she wasn't in any trauma that night. So what do you conclude? She's sick and dangerous. She likes gory movies. She likes seeing people murdered. It gives her an adrenaline rush. I mean, what else do you need? I mean, seriously. So anyway, Gooch says, do you see it from my perspective? And Morton says, yeah, that makes more sense. Of course it does. And Gooch says, that means he knows who you are, the killers. They know who you are, and he wants to protect you. And that would be important for his investigation. Uh-huh. See? And then Dylan says, yeah, that makes more sense. So obviously, then she changes here. She switches subjects. She doesn't follow what Gooch is saying to her. She changes and says, so she forgets that, and she says, so obviously, I locked the door that second time. Totally disregards what Gooch is saying here. I don't remember. I don't know who I called before or after. Whatever. See? She totally doesn't want to discuss this. Because actually at this part, Gooch is actually on the right path here with her. But Mortensen totally gets away from that and changes the subject. See? She totally changes the subject. Gooch says, did you ever call anybody outside the house? And Mortensen says, no, it didn't cross my mind to call anybody outside the house. Of course not. I was just calling my roommates. You know, it's like my closest friends who I trust. I called Ethan at one point. I mean, let me go on my Snapchat. I don't know if it's still there or not. Oh, by the way, Gooch says, well, if it is, can you take a screenshot of it so we don't lose it? Instead of taking her fucking phone away from her. See, they should have confiscated her phone here. Right? Absolutely. At this particular point in the interview, because we're real homicide detectives, guys, you are going to take that goddamn phone. Absolutely. You are no longer going to let her have her phone. You're just not. Right? Of course. So, again, if this was real, they would have taken her phone probably prior to this. They should have taken her phone after 11:13, but they didn't, okay? But by 11:17, absolutely they should have confiscated her fucking phone. No doubt. There is no looking at phones. There is no trying to figure out my time at this point. We have your fucking phone. We already forensically downloaded it. We know it's on it. We know how we're going to contradict you. We did our homework. And of course, that's not what they did here. But that's what they should have done. Absolutely. There is no question about that. And it just says, oh, this is, and then she says, I don't remember. She said something about a firework. We're talking about Bethany Funk. And firecracker, fireworks. That's all I remember. I don't remember what I said to her. Right? And it just says Sunday, Ethan couldn't talk. Do you want me to screenshot that for you? Well, yeah. Duh. How about we take your fucking phone? Blaker and Gooch, did it ever cross your mind to take her goddamn phone from her? No, it didn't. You fucking cocks. Not real homicide detectives. These people, again, should not be working in law enforcement ever again in their miserable, pathetic lives. They never were real homicide detectives. They never should have handled this case. This is ridiculous. And then she goes on to say, well, the reason why I called Ethan was because, Ethan is the one that we trusted. It was like if Ethan, inaudible, then we're staying because me and Bethany were always freaked out at the house. No, you were freaked out at the house, Dylan, because you're the psychotic prime. And you made everybody else freaked out because you're sick. That's what happened here. Like someone was going to, I don't know. I don't know either. Me and Bethany are always kind of freaked out by that stuff. Like what kind of stuff? People getting murdered? Well, not really, because Dylan just lied again to you. Dylan doesn't get freaked out by this stuff. She just lied to you again. You didn't even know it. Dylan likes gory horror movies. Dylan does not get scared by this stuff. Dylan does not get scared by being murdered in her dreams. So she just lied to you again. And again. And again. How many lies do you need? Dylan just lied to you. You didn't know it, did you? Yes, you did. You're my guardian. She's not a scaredy cat, is she? No! She tries to pretend she's something, but she's not. She does this all the time. Bethany. Bethany was the scaredy cat of the house. If anybody was a scaredy cat in the house, it was Bethany the Hobbit. Mortensen was not the scaredy cat of the house. Morton is the psycho of the house. She just told you. She likes gory movies. She doesn't mind getting killed in her sleep. She doesn't, that stuff does not scare her. She doesn't get freaked out by this. She is not the scaredy cat of the house. Bethany is the scaredy cat. Do you see what Dylan does again? Dylan, once again, she's like a insidious fucking fungus. And she will latch onto you. Just like she latched onto Kaylee. She will latch onto you. And the more she knows about you, the more she is going to take that knowledge and apply it to herself. She is the psychotic prime. She does this over and over again. I am the greatest, I'm telling you. That is the best analysis we can give with Dylan. She probably was scared of Dylan in some way. I think all of them felt uncomfortable about Dylan Mortensen. I think all of them did. I think they all sensed something was wrong with her. Sure, absolutely. I have no doubt about that. I have no doubt that the rest of the roommates were uncomfortable by her. And they had to sort of live with her, so they didn't want to make it obvious, probably. But I'll tell you what, Halloween rolled around, and Maddie probably said, I don't give two fucks anymore about this fucking bitch. And Maddie was probably drunk that night on Halloween and said, fuck this cunt. And they went full force in making her, humiliating her. And they did humiliate her. Because at that point, Maddie's probably like, fuck this. I'm tired of this. Ethan too. Probably Ethan was sick of her shit too. But the point of this calling Ethan, what makes this even more ridiculous is that Dylan says prior to this that she doesn't even know if Ethan's in the fucking house or not. So once again, she lies. Prior, she says, well, I don't even know if Ethan was there. But yet, she's calling him because she trusts him. It makes no sense. None of it makes any sense. But that's just another little lie there from her. There's so many. I mean, we can go through each paragraph and probably pick out a few of them in each paragraph. That's how ridiculous this is. And we've done that. Yeah. Blurry glasses. She was wearing blurry glasses. Fuzzy and cloudy, blurry glasses. Yeah, sure. Mini vacuum cleaners. Goes on and on and on. Goes on and on and on. We already know this, but skinny, toned, basketball. Yeah. Oh, this is a nice part for people in denial. This is Dylan, right? I mean, he had to see her. She's talking about him seeing her. I mean, he had to see me. If it is like, if I did see this, like it's all real and it's not like imagination dream, like if it is real, let's just say that it is for somehow, he had to have heard me call for Kaylee and Xana. Remember, she's calling out to both of them, not just Kaylee, but Xana as well. When I heard Kaylee crying in the bathroom, from what I think I heard. How many feet away is he from you? Detective Gooch says. And Mortensen says, well, I would say, remember, about 3 feet. From what I remember. Again, that could be off because guess what? I was obviously probably still a little bit drunk. Don't you love our prime? I just woke up. I don't fully remember. I don't remember. But I remember, like, what I think I remember was, like, this item. And it was, like, what I explained was, looked like this, like, cylinder little thing that was skinny, like this, like about this long. And then it went, like, a triangle almost at the end of it. And I remember one of the cops saying, oh, was it like a bow or something? All right. Let's play follow the leader, right? Let's play follow the blind leader to our death, right? Hey, is that a cliff? Nah, but we should jump off it anyway. What do you think? But I promise you it's not a cliff, right? It's the fucking psychotic prime leading these fucking inbred detectives on a wild goose hunt. And they totally buy it. It's insanity. It's total insanity. So it's like, sure, it was a bow and arrow. All right. I can't remember. So she says, I can't remember something about that. And it was like, oh, guess what now, guys? It was like a bow and arrow. And it was like the bow and arrow kind of stuff. Oh, God. Uh-huh. So it goes from, now, because they're giving her the answers, it goes from a mini vacuum to like a pointy thing. And then when one of the cops primes her and says, well, did it look like a bow and arrow? She says, well, yeah, it was the bow and arrow kind of stuff. Oh, my God. Now, they could have said, well, are you sure it wasn't like a sharp banana? And she would say, yes, you're right. It was kind of like the sharp banana kind of stuff. See? No matter what you prime her with, she's going to agree with you. And that's exactly what she's doing here. Victoria Gooch, you fucking inbred moron. And the rest of these detectives who are not detectives. So yeah, so now it's the bow and arrow kind of stuff. See? And guess what, guys? If you asked her again tomorrow and you suggested it was, I don't know, let's say it was a trident spear. She'd say, oh yeah, it was definitely a trident spear kind of stuff. She'll agree with whatever you want. Because she's totally making this shit up. So whatever sounds good, she's going to say, sure. You're exactly right, because I obviously was drunk. See? That's how she gets out of it. So she'll say, well, I don't really know, because obviously I was still drunk at this time, so it could have been a trident. It could have been Zeus's fucking lightning bolt from fucking Mount Olympus. It could have been that. Okay. Yeah, that's not how you investigate crimes. That's why Idaho State Police should be investigated for what they've done here. And Moscow. These are not real homicide detectives. You don't prime your fucking subjects. Especially ones that are your prime suspects. Because they'll agree with you. Totally. Because they're lying to you. Obviously. I don't know what else you could say about this. Then she thought it was a firefighter. And why did she think it was a firefighter? Because Bethany Funk said something about fireworks. And so she thought it was a firefighter, guys. That's how she comes to that conclusion. Because Bethany Funk said she heard a firework. And Mortensen says, well, therefore, I thought it was a fireman. See how it works? See how Dylan Mortensen's fucking psychotic brain works? Yeah, that's how it works. Her associations are so fucking ridiculous, and the cops are so ridiculous that they are giving her false associations. And she's just taking them and running with them. That's exactly what she's doing here. And she does this throughout the entire interview. It's quite obvious. I know he looked at me because I saw that one the one eyebrow. That's how I know he looked at me, because I saw one eyebrow. Huh. Yeah, there you go. And I said, no. Remember, nobody's calling 911 here, guys. But I said, no. Yeah, she's doing all this stuff within the span of a couple minutes, by the way, guys. Anyway, no. And I slammed the door and locked it. And that was like all I remember doing. And I don't know if he had actually gone out the back door. That's what I think happened. Yeah, it's like Mad Libs. Exactly. And she's still looking at her phone, looking at text, trying to get her time straight. Because that's what you do with suspects in a case like this. You let them try to get their time straight. Instead of taking their phone and getting it forensically downloaded 4 days prior to interviewing her, which they should have done on 11/13, by the way. Which they didn't. So anyway, that's Gooch. We already been through Gooch. But it's very interesting reading parts that were redacted from the audio. She talks about, Gideon comes up. She was hanging out with Gideon all that night. They never talked to Gideon, as far as I'm aware. So we get through Gooch, and then we get on to Aaron. Yeah. And this one actually has video. So we know this. So the interview with the FBI, Aaron Williamson, we know there's not only audio, but they also video recorded her. So that's important to know. Yeah. Speakers on audio, video. So they do have a video recording of this interview, which I'd very much love to see, even though her face is going to be blurred out. So this is the more complete version than the one we were doing the other days here. But so I'm not going to go over all of it, but you have to kind of put the two together, because that's where you get the complete picture here. Anyway, we'll stop there, all right, guys? We'll stop there. I don't think Gideon is Quinn. No, Gideon is not Quinn. Gideon is associated with the frat. He is a little of one of her friends. He is a little, and they were hanging out a good portion of the night on 11/13. I'm sorry, 11/12, at the Sigma Chi party and elsewhere. He was with her practically the entire night. And my guess is he was also part of the crew. But anyway. So we'll leave it there. I want to go over parts of Aaron again. I know it's been gone over, but there are certain parts that I missed from the last couple that I wanted to get to again. Because this interview is even more batshit crazy than the 11/17. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so I want to start with this. We know she lived in Utah. She's a Mormon. That's what I keep saying. She came from the Mormons. She lived in Utah. She was in Salt Lake City. Salt Lake. Until she was about 6. That's where she grew up. And then we moved to Boise, Idaho. So her early childhood, Mormon, surrounded by Mormons, Salt Lake City. I don't know if they were going to church. I don't know if her family broke away from the Mormon church then, and then they decided to move to Boise. Or if they kept the Mormon faith. I don't know. But my guess is there's Mormon influence here. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know that 100%, but I'm pretty sure. Just keep that in mind. So Boise is a good spot. Dylan says, yeah, I like it. Dylan says, yeah. Then, okay, I'm going to leave it here. This is right off the bat. This is right off the bat, the very first part of the interview here. So Aaron says to her, anything since you talked to Victoria Gooch that has come up for you, things that you didn't get a chance to talk about then that you want to get a chance to talk about now, okay? Very first kind of question, right? And Dylan starts off with this. I guess the biggest thing was, like, that night I kept having dreams of someone just dressed in black. Dreams. Like there was a dream that there was this. This is important. This is important. There was this dream. I remember the dream about the woman dressed in black who was a man. This is important. Okay? Like there was a dream. This is crazy. It's spooky and fucking crazy because she's a psychotic prime. Like there was a dream that there was this woman who was just like pranking people. That is fucking spooky. Where did this come from? She didn't mention this in 11/17, guys. But 2 weeks go by. 2 weeks go by. And this is her first concern. Is that she was having dreams of someone dressed in black. Like Xana, for example. Like there was a dream that there was this woman who was just going around pranking people. Remember that? I told you, remember about the pranks and pranking people way back when? Remember the pranks? Remember? And Aaron says, uh-huh. I'm in for a rough ride today, aren't I? Right? So this is Dylan's prank dream. This is very disconcerting, okay? Again, she is a very sick fucking person. She's also a part of the murders. But she's a very sick person, okay? But this is her dream. Now it's a dream of somebody dressed in black. It's not Xana anymore. It's somebody else. It could be her, as a matter of fact, that she's describing. It wouldn't surprise me. Because Dylan did play a prank. Oh, yes, she did. She played a big prank that night. And this is the way it's coming out. Oh, yes. Remember the pranks? I talked to you about Tom Fool, didn't I? Remember Thomas Skelton? I talked to you about that, didn't I? He's the clown that liked to lead people to their deaths. Remember? He'd take them into the castle, and then he'd open up doors for them to walk through, and they'd fall off huge ledges to their death. Tom Skelton. Dylan Mortensen. They're one and the same. Okay? In many ways, they are one and the same. And when she brings up pranking people, it starts to scare me. Because she does prank people on that very night. Just like Tom Fool. And she led 4 of her roommates to their death. And she was directly involved with it. She is Tom Skelton. Do you like that? Do you like that? Tom Skelton, Tom Fool, loved to prank people. He was the murderous clown. He was also known as Thing 42. No, I made that up. I made that up. He might as well have been known as Thing 42. Same with Dylan Mortensen. Thing 42. Same difference. And you don't go around humiliating Tom Fool, because guess what? Tom Fool is going to pay you back when you least expect it. He's going to lead you off a cliff, and you're going to think he's your best friend. You're going to think Tom Skelton is your best friend in the world. And guess what? He's going to open a door, and you're going to step through the door, and you're going to plunge down a 200-foot drop to your death. That's what he does. Okay, that's what he did. Just saying. I want you to think about that analogy, though, because I don't think I'm very far off with that. So she goes into this prank dream. Now it's a pranking dream where she's imagining people pranking people to death, and she is the center of it. It's very scary. Oh, it gets even crazier. So in her pranking dream, this woman who's dressed all in black, she'd go to the houses and wear black, and it was like some kind of joke. And then I met her. And her name was Dylan Mortensen, also known as Thomas Skelton or Tom Fool. But anyway, and then I met her personally in my dream. Don't forget, this is a dream, guys. And then I met her. And she's really nice. Super nice, as a matter of fact. Just like me, Dylan Mortensen. I'm super nice, too. Unless you piss me off. And then I'm going to lead you off a cliff. See? But she was super nice. And then I was talking to my therapist about this. Uh-huh. I bet. I didn't remember if this was like, because I obviously... I've always had really bad dreams of murdering people. See? And being murdered. Like I've watched, here we go, Criminal Minds. I lucid dream a lot. This is important. We know this. This is scary. She is trying to give you a motive. What Dylan Mortensen is trying to do here with Aaron is she's trying to give a motive for her actions. And this is the cover of this. See? Seriously. This is exactly what this is. I lucid dream a lot, so I have, like, scary lucid dreams, but I know I'm dreaming, so it's, like, doesn't really matter, but sometimes I don't have lucid dreams. Uh-oh. Now we're in big fucking trouble when this happens, guys. Because when Dylan Mortensen doesn't have lucid dreams, guess what? You better get out of the fucking way. And hope she doesn't have a fucking knife in her hands. I'm serious. I'm going to leave it right fucking there. I want you to think about this, though. I feel I'm accurate. I know what I'm talking about. And this is absolutely crazy. It's scary. It's disturbing. But so is Dylan Mortensen. She is disturbing. She's scary. And you don't want her not lucid dreaming. Because you're going to be next. Okay? Especially if you humiliate her. Which Maddie did. You know, especially when Maddie gets drunk. Maddie doesn't give a fuck who she's talking to, obviously. We see that on the Grub Truck video. Maddie's fucking cursing out somebody. Maddie's totally drunk. But she's bitching at somebody, telling them to go fuck themselves. So imagine Maddie drunk in the house on Halloween and dealing with Dylan Mortensen. She's probably bitching her up and down the whole goddamn way. You know, what's wrong with you, Dylan? Why are you fucking crazy cunt? Who knows? But yeah, think about that. Anyway, I love you. Think about that, though. This is very scary stuff. It's very disturbing. Dylan Mortensen is very disturbed. And again, what makes this seem innocent is that this was not a real homicide investigation. And that's why this doesn't seem so important. But if you look at this from the perspective of if real homicide detectives were listening to this, I think they'd get creeped out. And I think they would think, you know what? This person is directly involved in the murders. There's no other conclusion that you can draw from this. Really, there isn't. You don't even have to be a great homicide detective. You just have to be a real homicide detective, okay? You don't have to be great. You just have to be semi-competent. That's all. Which none of these people were. Anyway, I love you. I'll leave it there. I hope you have beautiful dreams, okay? Like real beauty, not prank, scary, killing people, wanting to kill people kind of dreams, like Tom Fool. None of you are killer clowns out there, okay? None of you are killer clowns. Wow. I hope you like that. But yeah, she's batshit. She's batshit then, and then my guess is she's still batshit. But she's really batshit back then. Holy crap. Oh, where were we with our confession? Sorry, guys. We're in the middle of a confession. Yeah, we were in the middle of a confession, guys. That's right. Dylan's confession. Hopefully, one of these days. Schoolboy's in disgrace. Ah! Hey, it's Dylan's Dreams. That's right. That's right.
Never gave, I always took. Rushed people to acquire anything that I desired. Too deceitful and a lie. Now I'm facing hellfire. I can't believe that my time has come for confessing all the evil and the wrong that I've done. The reckoning's come, and now I'm just a no one. I confess to the timid and the meek, to the cripples and the beggars and the tramps in the street. I confess my cruelty, my ego and conceit. I've opened up my body and looked inside, and I'm everything that I once despised. I confess for the deeds, the affected and deranged. I confess for the mothers I've been incurably insane. I confess to the ugly for being so vain. I confess to those I hurt for causing the pain. I'm just a number.
Oh, yeah. Good night, my love. Good night.